Another thing. I think it's time. This is something I'm being serious about. I'm not in the wind up. It's time for people to start putting respect on Trent Alexander-Arnold's name. And Scotty doesn't want us to have this conversation, but the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I noticed a little bit towards the end of last year with Liverpool, and I know on the other day with England, is he's starting to drift into being a centre midfielder, and it's quite an interesting from a football point of view. If you're a football fan and you like tactics and all that type of stuff, and a good talent, he is moving into midfield, which is very interesting. Matthew, I know you watched the England game. What did you think about it from that perspective?
Well, he only played a half in there, by the way. So I don't know if you've watched it, right?
I dropped back, didn't he?
So it was Reece James at right back and then Trent in midfield. And Trent played there in the first half.
What?
And I think...
Centre mid or right mid?
No, he played centre midfield.
Centre mid.
He played, it was...
right of the three, right?
It was Hendo, Trent, and I don't know who the other person was, I forgot. But he was centre midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it. Positionally, I think he was a little off, which is pretty normal when you're probably used to playing as a right back who likes to go forward, and it didn't work too well between him and James. But I think with time, especially going to play him, you need time to like positionally get a feel for it.
100%. You can't judge him on the first.
The second, like folk were saying, like, oh, Trent was poor in there and that. Like England that first half, it was flat and like no one was good. It wasn't like they were like tearing who it was like Andorra or something to pieces. Like generally that they just sat back really deep and England has kept the ball. It was really hard to break down, but you see little glimpses where you're like, right, holy shit! Like I have no doubt in my mind that he could play there, but I think he needs a little bit of training and coaching and just getting a feel for. Because see, playing centre midfield compared to a right back, totally different.
Yeah. Something like that. That's a decision he needs to make and go, right, I'm now playing centre mid. I'm going all in. I'm learning that position. Like, he's not just
he played there before he got into the Liverpool first team.
Yeah,
he got into the Liverpool first team as a right back.
To relearn that though is
going to play that at the level
level
that he was playing at is a total different story. But I just also want to add, like, I think so. When I watched Liverpool, especially this season, simply with Elliott playing in centre midfield now, I don't know if you watch a lot of it, you'll notice it. Salah, we've obviously worked on this and trying to. This is basically our evolution from last year type thing. You know, you have to always change it up, else teams just know what you're gonna do. Elliott now plays centre midfield, but when we have the ball, Elliott gives us the width and goes way far and hangs on the touchline and plays wide as anything, and he's really good at that because he's played as a right winger most of his life. Elliott gives us width. Salah almost plays as that inside forward, which he's done a lot of the time. And now Trent comes and plays almost as a centre midfielder.
Yeah,
so he's kind of playing there anyway. When we're off the ball, he then slips in and goes and plays right back. Elliott comes and plays in centre midfield. But see, when we have the ball, if you watch it, Trent literally plays centre mid for us. Obviously, he switches up. Of course, he'll go and overlap Elliott sometimes, and then Elliott come inside on his left foot, and same with Salah. But a lot of the time, Trent gets
Jordan Pickford. Oh, I'd love if that had gone in. You jammy bastard.
Trent gets it a lot of the times, in which if you're playing on the right side of a centre mid, you'd get it anyway. He is kind of playing there for us at the moment, just the way, especially when we have the ball.
When you got that much possession as well, it's
because
easy
you
for
know
him to
the
get
area,
forward.
like everyone said, it's like the De Bruyne area where you just get it, and like De Bruyne that season kept whipping on those balls and folk kept scoring. He's obviously class at that, and that's what he's been doing recently for us, and I think it's really beneficial for him.
It's huge. I'm interested to see it. I think like he's very, very good. I think that's an interesting progression for him to be in there. But like, it's a weird one though because he kind of will also get more space if he stays at right back at times too. Like you play
more space than then ball forward.
It depends on so many things though.
It does, yeah. It depends. And playing for Liverpool and England, the two different things. We just talked about international football and club football.
But then who did Liverpool put right back then?
Well, we're going to have to sign someone.
Well, we bought. Bear in mind,
this isn't going to happen in the next 2
Gomez is definitely a backup right back.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And that Konate we've just signed can definitely play there as well.
But can they do a good as job as Trent does it right back?
No, the team changes.
This is never going to be. And then our Liverpool struggling that battle in midfield. To require him to go forward.
I think Trent will move into centre midfield towards the end of his career personally.
But not anytime. He's 20. Well, he's 23 years old. Not anytime soon.
I think towards the end of his career, where you know.
I don't know. I think it's starting to happen now.
No, I do too.
It's definitely a plan from Liverpool's point of view. And by the way,
I don't know.
You're an idiot if you don't think Klopp and Southgate spoke about that for him to play in centre.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they've Klopp's everything.
And that's to say that goes for anyone that you see playing a different position for the national team. Like the managers obviously are like, look, we're thinking about this. What do you think? Well, yeah, I actually think that too. Let's both try and give it a bash for him.
And it solves the who do you play at right back debate and gets both of them in the team.
Yeah, which again, Reece James not even close to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
So the second half was really interesting. I really like Southgate, by the way. I think he gives so many players freedom and opportunity. Like, I reckon he just tells them fucking go for it. The second half they switched. Reece James went and played in centre midfield, and Trent went and played right back. Reece James used to play centre mid for Wigan when he went on loan there. He used to play in centre midfield for Wigan. So like, there's so much switching about there, which I think is personally class.
I mean, the position they're in, they're gonna never not qualify for World Cup, so fuck it, might as well go and try it, see what happens.
England are pretty solid, being there. Like we were talking about that earlier about Scotland. England aren't exactly great to watch, but they're better than Scotland to watch. They attack more. But England are quite conservative and compact and like get through games 1-0, 2-0 international football.
Man.
Yeah, they do literally win every single game that they play in until it gets to like the latter stages of a tournament as well, that's why I think we were talking about it. But I bet England supporters are way more buzzing for international break than what Scotland fans are, because you know that you're going to win every game. You're going to score about 15 goals.
Yeah.
You're going to watch your team have the ball all the time.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Going back to the Trent chat. Right. So do you think? I think personally, it's a little too early to be doing it now, simply for the reason it's going so well. I don't know why you change it.
I was going to say he's the most creative right back in the. He's the most creative right back in the league. So why would you move him?
Change it and confuse things, right? And I think personally it's too early to try that now. I just think he's.
Surely the only reason you change it if there was a glaringly obvious right back coming through, you think this boy could take Trent's position. Nobody can at the moment. So why would you ever risk putting him in the midfield and then having a dodgy right back?
Since 2018-19, Kevin De Bruyne is the only one with more assists in the league than Trent on 34, and Trent is one behind him on 33.
Yeah, so why would you move him?
He loves whipping in from a wide area compared to being inside. There's definitely a little bit of a difference. Technically, he's got the quality to do both. I think, I think this is what I was saying though, we're evolving though. Like, so I think when we first got Salah, do you not think he used to play really far wide? And
yes.
Trent would always overlap him. Mind that season where like Robbo and Trent were just like go the whole time. I actually think we've evolved a little bit and we've kind of held them and we've kind of been like chill out a wee bit simply for whatever reasons. It's probably quite in depth why we've actually gone to decide to do that. But I think it's really clever with now playing Elliot in there, who likes to go and play wide, bringing Trent inside. Obviously, like I said, sometimes he will go overlap him. He won't do it every time. Trent loves overlapping.
Yeah, that's his favourite thing to do. Is
he's
just
got the legs
that
to do
right,
it and get to the byline and that. But I think it's clever, and I think we are literally playing him in centre midfield at the moment. But like we're also kind of not. He's still playing as a right back. But that's just kind of the way football's going right now.